All right, so tennis. Maybe you picture, I don't know, strawberries and cream, polite applause. But the guy we're talking about today, he brings the heat in every sense of the word.
Oh, yeah. Daniil Medvedev, he's 27, top of his game, and, well, he's not exactly known for keeping it low-key.
Definitely not. I mean, he's taken down giants like Djokovic, won a U.S. Open, even hit that #1 ranking, but
Yeah.
there's always something more of the story with him, right?
Right. And for anyone listening, chances are you've seen a clip or at least heard about, let's just say. Medvedev doesn't shy away from a little on-court drama.
Understatement of the year. But that's what we're diving into today, because that intensity, that almost villainous side some people see, it's somehow part of what's gotten him to the top. So how does that work?
Yeah, like what makes Medvedev a champion in this very unique way?
Yeah.
And what can we learn from it, whether we play tennis or not?
Exactly. So you've been looking into this. Help us out here. Where do we even begin with a career like his?
Well, it's not a straight line to success, is it? He's had these huge wins, yeah, but also some really tough setbacks along the way.
Yeah.
It's almost like the combination of those is what makes him so interesting.
You're saying it's not just the winning, it's the overcoming.
I think so.
And the overcoming with Medvedev, it tends to be kind of loud.
True.
That Australian Open blow-up, a couple years back now, pure theater, right?
Right.
I mean, nothing went viral for a reason. But it also showed us something about him. He's got this passion that you just can't fake. Rub some people the wrong way, sure, but the intensity is undeniable.
And it's not just intensity for its own sake, Medvedev almost uses negativity, like criticism, and turns it to his advantage, weaponizes it almost.
Now, that's intriguing. How does he actually do that? Because most people would just, crumble under that kind of pressure.
I know, right? There are some pretty clear examples, though. There's this one match, he's getting heckled by the crowd bad, and instead of losing it, he starts engaging with them, using that energy to pump himself up, and he ends up winning.
So he's not ignoring it, he's almost absorbing it.
Yeah, it's wild. I think that's a huge part of what makes him such a tough competitor, that resilience.
Okay, so think about that U.S. Open win against Djokovic. Talk about high stakes, stopping a calendar Grand Slam, facing one of the best ever. Did that mental game come into play there?
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
That whole match was like a masterclass in focus. Didn't matter how big the moment was, Medvedev stayed locked in. Didn't play it safe either, stuck to his game plan even when things got tight. I think that self-belief, even under all that pressure, that's what got him the win.
So he thrives where others might choke. But like you said earlier, it hasn't all been smooth sailing for him. There have been these dips, times when people started doubting.
Absolutely. Like 2022, 2023, there was a real slump. His game wasn't there. And you could hear the whispers starting, shooting star, one-hit wonder, all that. Suddenly he's dealing with a new kind of pressure, the pressure of expectations.
So how does he handle that? Everyone loves cheering for the champion on the rise, but what about when you stumble? Especially when the whole world's watching.
Well, what's amazing is he didn't fold, didn't shy away from it at all. Instead, he kind of took stock, looked at his game, figured out what needed work, and just went at it.
So no wallowing. He actually used, turned those setbacks into a way to grow.
Exactly. Refined the technique, got that mental game even stronger, started adapting his strategies, even talked openly about the struggles, the doubts. It was almost like he was inviting us in, showing us that even champions have those moments,
That's a good point. We usually only see the highlight reel, not all the hard work behind it. So what did that look like for him specifically? Did he revamp his training, get new coaches, go meditate on a mountaintop?
He really zeroed in on the mental side of things. Started working with a sports psychologist, trying mindfulness stuff, figuring out ways to handle the pressure. It wasn't just physical. It was like mastering his own mind.
Yeah.
And it worked. That comeback he had, 2023, 2024, that's proof. Rankings went back up, started winning again. All those doubters got quiet real fast.
You turn them into fuel. And this is where it gets really interesting for anyone listening, right? Because we all hit those walls, whether it's work, relationships, whatever goal we're chasing. What can we actually learn from how Medvedev handled it? How do we take those one-hit wonder whispers and turn them into our own comeback story?
Well, I think there's a couple big things. First off, Medvedev shows us, self-awareness matters. Didn't just keep doing the same stuff expecting different results. He took time to think, figure out his weaknesses, and actually address them.
It's like that classic advice, know thyself, but applied to tennis, right? He wasn't afraid to admit where he was falling short.
Exactly. And then the other thing is resilience, man. He didn't let those setbacks define him. He used them to get better, come back even stronger.
Fall down 7 times, get up 8. But he did it all while being himself, which, let's be real, early on, that made him kind of a controversial figure. Remember how quickly people slapped that villain label on him?
Oh, yeah. Definitely ruffled some feathers with that on-court behavior, and the media ate it up, that bad boy image. But what's interesting is he never apologized for it. Like, he owned that intensity, those quirks, that whole unique way he plays.
This is me. Deal with it.
Yeah.
And in a world where we're always pushed to fit in, that's powerful, that authenticity.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that real success, it doesn't come from trying to be someone you're not. It's being yourself, even if it makes you stand out, even if it makes some people uncomfortable.
So back to that villain thing. Is it possible that what some see as negative is actually like an unconventional strength?
Totally. Medvedev messes with our idea of what a champion's supposed to be. He's not always polished, not always predictable. He's raw, he's emotional, and he's unapologetically himself.
Like he's changing the rules of the game, literally and figuratively. Which brings us back to, like, why is Medvedev such a unique champion?
It's not just the skill on the court. It's the mental toughness, that resilience, that unwavering belief in himself. He's showing us what it looks like to embrace being different, to turn negativity into motivation, to never give up on your dreams, even when it seems like the whole world's against you.
And that's something we can all relate to, right? Doesn't matter if we're trying to win a Grand Slam or just get through the day. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one last thought. What if Medvedev's biggest win isn't like a trophy or a ranking? What if it's that he gets to define success his own way? He's not just winning matches, he's changing what it even means to be a champion.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's not about fitting into some mold. It's about making your own path. And that's huge for anyone trying to achieve something in any area of life.
So how does that translate for like the rest of us? We're not all pro athletes dealing with a stadium full of screaming fans.
Right.
But we all have those moments, right? Where the pressure's on and you kind of want to doubt yourself or just do what everyone expects.
Medvedev shows us that the real strength, it has to come from inside. It's about building up that resilience, that bounce-back ability, sticking to your vision, even when people are telling you to play it safe.
It's almost like he's saying it's okay to be different, to embrace the things that make you unique, even if they don't fit the usual idea of what success looks like.
And we need to remember that, because in a world where everyone's trying to fit in, it's the people who dare to be themselves that really make a difference.
So we've taken this deep dive into Daniil Medvedev's world, but as we wrap up, here's a question for you to think about. Can we find that same courage to be ourselves, to turn what we think are weaknesses into strengths, and to define success on our own terms?
That's worth wrestling with, because at the end of the day, the best wins are the ones where we stay true to who we are.
This has been The Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us for another awesome exploration, and we'll see you next time when we take another plunge into the depths of knowledge.